Welcome back, mamas. Okay, today we have a big, juicy topic, and that is guilt, mom guilt. Yes, we talked about it last week a little bit. I told you we would get deep into it today, and I am going to walk you through the whys and even the hows of not to feel this guilt anymore. Who wants to be free of their mom guilt? Just keep listening.
Hey mama, welcome to Prioritize with Purpose. Do you wish you had more time in your day and to feel like you've accomplished something at the end of each day? Do you find yourself up at night, doubting yourself, wondering if you've done enough, but also if you'll ever have time for you again? Do you wake up with big plans only to feel exhausted, out of control, and a little like Cinderella when your to-do list just seems to grow and your day gets thrown off track again? I'm Danielle. I too was a mom of littles running around with endless to-do lists. I too felt behind and guilty, wishing I could find balance, get clarity, and be more present in the moment with my kids. I kept telling myself I didn't have time. Schedules must just not be for me, and that I was too tired to figure it all out. I felt so alone until I made a decision to dig deep and get clear about what I wanted and why. In this podcast, we embrace where we are, but we don't stay there. I'll guide you with transformational tips. You'll learn mindset shifts and be challenged to take back control of your days so you get the most important things done and can be a more present mama who feels like yourself again. So grab the kid as a snack and get your laundry, because I know you're multitasking, and let's get into what I like to call aligned flow.
Okay, mamas. So I want to talk to you today about this thing that is called guilt, mom guilt, a lot of times we call it. And it is a feeling where, we talked last week on the show about identity loss and just how you might feel unhappy and stuck and you want more for yourself. You want more for your life. You want more for your kids. You wanted this life, but now that you have what you thought you wanted, you feel really guilty because you're still unhappy and you're not sure why. And I went through a lot of that last week, and I told you that I would come back and speak into mom guilt today. And I thought of a story about what happened to me when I would say Michaela was probably 2 years old. And so Gabriella would have been like 4 or maybe 5. And I decided that I was going to take a girls' trip. And these were girls that I love, that one of my best friends from college had started this like tradition of us going on mom trips. Well, actually, they weren't really necessarily mom trips at the time. They were girls' trips. They've now turned into mom trips, but they were girls' trips that we would go and have fun. We did it like once a year, and we would go to places, and they were girls from all over. And it was something I absolutely loved and looked forward to. And we hadn't done it in a while. And she was like, I want to bring back our girls trip. And I was like, yes, that we should definitely do that. It sounded like an amazing idea. It was something I felt like I super needed for myself. And so we did. We went on a trip, and I went, and I won't say I was miserable, but I did not enjoy it the way that I should have, the way that I could have, because I felt guilty. Because Michaela was at the time, like, she did not like to go to sleep if I wasn't there. So if I had a meeting or if I had to do something in the evening time and I wasn't going to be there to put her down, she was not a happy camper, right? And this meant that I was going to be gone for like 3 nights in a row, or at least 2 nights in a row. I think it was just 2 nights in a row. And my husband was going to have to put her down by himself. And I felt bad that I was leaving for the weekend. I had never left him alone with both girls for the weekend before. I felt super guilty about that. And I went on my trip, and I didn't enjoy it. the way that I should have, right? Like I enjoyed it. It was great. I was super, happy to reconnect with these girls and just have some fun. But I was thinking about my girls and my situation at home the entire time that I was there, so much so that I wasn't able to be fully present and super enjoy the moment I was having. And this was an expensive trip. Like we went to Miami and like Miami is not a cheap place. And so we were like going to all these nice restaurants. We stayed in a really fancy hotel. Like it should have been like a super fun and enjoyable vacation. And it was a much needed, like, I did get a break, right? And got to the beach and did all of that. But part of me was not there. It was at home. And it was because of this guilt that I was feeling, because I left, because, my husband was babysitting, right? You know how I've talked about that before, how I hate that term. Like the husband is just watching his children, right? It's not babysitting. They're his children too. So he is being a parent for the weekend, a solo parent for the weekend, right? Which a lot of times, you don't think of the mom as babysitting when she's the solo parent. You think of the dad as babysitting when he's home with the kids, right? So I wasn't able to enjoy my trip. And I looked it up on Wikipedia and what guilt was. And it said, Wikipedia says, guilt is a moral emotion that occurs when a person believes or realizes accurately or not that they have compromised their own standards of conduct and have violated universal moral standards and bear significant responsibility for that violation. So it says guilt is closely related to the concepts of remorse, regret, and shame. So guilt and shame are related, right? But they're very different emotions. Remorse, regret, and guilt, those are all very similar emotions. I would say that shame is a bit deeper and darker, but guilt is something that can eat us up. And this says that it occurs when a person believes or realizes accurately or not, right, that they have compromised their own standards or violated universal moral standards, right? So a lot of times this guilt is not even our own. Like we have taken it on because of what others, right, have kind of imparted on us as we should feel guilty for doing certain things or not doing certain things, right? And what I want to tell you is that this is all about you, right? It's about your kids, it's your family, it's your spouse, it's your situation. Everything is unique to you. And so we need to first and foremost kick all of those shoulds that everyone else might want to tell you about to the curb, and things that you may have heard or seen, or that someone may have told you along the way, or even a parent may have told you, an in-law, whatever the case, that you should or should not be doing. If that is something that is not truly what you feel, we need to quit taking that on as a responsibility when we know that it is not for us. It is not for us. Like, I am not saying that we should never feel guilt for doing things. What I am saying is when our guilt is something that has been given to us by someone else, we need to be able to recognize that. We need to be able to recognize that. And I wanted to read what mom guilt is. And this I found on the Cleveland Clinic's website. And it says, mom guilt is a name given to the feelings of guilt and shame some women feel when they don't live up to their own or others' expectations in their role as a parent. It's like an internal dialogue that tells you you're failing as a caregiver. Yes, you guys. Yes. This is what mom guilt is, right? It is like this eating, this nagging, this gnawing feeling that you are failing as a caregiver. Like you are failing as a mom because you went on the girls' trip, or because you decided to take some time for yourself and go to the gym, or because, like, insert the thing. Like, we all feel this guilt. It could be something as small as you feel guilty for playing with your kids because your house is a mess, right? But if you have someone that is feeling guilty for playing with their kids because their house is a mess, you probably have another mom who is feeling guilty because she's cleaning when she should be playing with her kids, right? It's this it's this what we should be doing. And what I want to tell you is that everything cannot be perfect, right? Like you have heard me say it so many times that it's all about our priorities. It's all about what's important to us, and that we need to take the time so that we don't get eaten up by this guilt, so that we don't get eaten up by things that aren't truly ours, like things and feelings. And we're having this mom guilt, which is a true feeling, but are we having it because of something that is out of alignment with us? Or are we feeling this guilt because we're taking on someone else's emotions, someone else's shoulds, someone else's ideas of how we should parent or how we should live our life? And this is what I want you to check into, because we should not feel guilty for living our lives the way that we want to live them, for parenting the way that we want to parent, for recognizing that we can be a better parent if we are taken care of. Right? This is so true. I needed that girls' trip, going back to the trip that I took, right? I needed that. Like, I knew I needed it. It was something where I was doing something for myself in a time where I was not doing anything for myself, because I felt like I had to do everything for everyone else and be everything to everyone else, right? And so when I finally did say, okay, no, I need this, I wasn't even able to enjoy it because I felt like I should still be at home, because I was feeling that guilt for leaving my husband with the kids, because I was feeling that guilt for leaving Michaela when I knew she needed me and wanted me there, right? I wasn't able to fully enjoy what I needed to enjoy for me. I was in it, right? Like I was in it. I made the decision to go. So I should have been there, right? I shouldn't have been feeling guilty that I was there, right? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, because it's a trap that we fall in, that we put ourselves in. And when it won't happen, I want to prevent you from feeling this is by prioritizing. It's by figuring out what is important to you. It's so you can live your life making decisions that you know are aligned with your priorities, that you know are what is needed for you, right? You and your family. When you know what is needed for you and your family, when you have your priorities figured out, when you have everything in check, when you know your true north, right? It always goes back to the true north with me, right? When you know where you are in this season and what your true north is and what that looks like for you, then you can operate from a place where you're not going to feel this mom guilt, right? This, you're not being a good parent because you're making this or that choice, right? Guilt is a feeling that we're going to feel in one way, shape, or form all the time, right? Like we're never going to be able to fully release the guilt. It's something that is going to happen, right? But that feeling that you're not being a good parent because of a decision that you're making, that is something where I want us to be able to get over, right? Like we can make a bad reaction and decision in the moment that might cause us to feel guilt that is warranted. In certain situations, guilt is warranted. It's kind of your little check in with yourself that tells you, okay, that was actually not a good decision. It's usually something though that you are making, and it's a split decision. It's an emotional decision, right? That you've made a poor choice. That's typically when guilt is warranted, right? Like if you have planned to go on this trip and you've decided that this is what you needed, and then you're on the trip and you're feeling this guilt, this is not something you should be feeling, right? It is not something that you should let affect who you are in the moment. It's not something that you should let affect how you are able to receive the gift that is the girls' trip, right? Because it is a gift. It is something where you should be able to refuel yourself and to use that to better parent from, right? So, I hope that made sense. I wanted to read a quote from Katie Couric that said, "Get rid of the guilt. when you're at one place, don't feel bad that you're not at work. She's talking about working moms and then staying at home, right? She's talking specifically, I think, to working moms here, but we can apply this everywhere because it says when you're at one place, don't feel bad that you're not at work. When you're at work, don't feel bad that you're not at home. And this is exactly what it was like with my trip, right? You can't feel bad when you know that you've made the right decision, right? That's when we need to live in that. That's when we need to walk confidently in that. And that is what I want to help you to do. And I know that I tried that when I was making this decision to go on this girls' trip, when I was making these decisions to start doing something more for myself, when I knew I wanted more for myself, when I knew that something was going on with me and that I needed to take these steps to try to figure it out, to get me out of this unhappy place, the things that I was doing should have made me feel better. And a lot of times they did. But when you've thought through and you've gone through, when you know what your true north is, when you've gotten your values in check, when you have your priorities laid out, when you know where you are at this season in your life and you know what your priorities are, then you're able to walk confidently in all your decisions. And it's such a different place than trying to like reach and do these things. And then, it's like one of those things where take 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, right? It's this push and pull. It's this unsettled feeling that you feel because you're not sure, right? You think you know what you want, but you're not 100% sure because you don't have the tools to know exactly what it is that you want. You haven't taken the time to figure it all out, right? And I want you to know that I have taken the time now, that I have done the work, that I have done the steps, that I know what you need to do in order to get you to that place where you can confidently make these decisions, where you can lessen the mom guilt, where you can walk knowing every day that you will get the most important things done this week, right? That you will be able to make decisions for yourself and your family from a place of confidence, from a place of knowing. It's a knowing that you are able to parent better, right? Because we are a better parent when the decisions that we're making, when we know that they're solid. We can want more for ourselves and we don't have to feel guilty about that when we've done the work to let us know that we are really making the decisions that matter for us. When we are confident that all of the things that we want to work together in our life, they are working together the way that we need them to at this moment. So if you've felt this before, if you know exactly what it is that I'm talking about, and if you don't want to operate from that place, and you know that you have been, that you keep feeling this mom guilt, that you are just feeling stuck, right? You're feeling stuck and you don't know how to get out of it. I want to help you get there. So I have developed this program to help you step by step walk through this with you so that you can live the life that you want to, right? The way that you want to live it. And you can feel fulfilled and you can be present in the moment. I want that for you. I want you to feel confident in your decisions. And so just go to prioritizewithpurpose.com/coaching. Prioritizewithpurpose.com/coaching will give you all of the information that you need for the coaching program. You will see there's a few options there that you are able to choose. So I want to end with one more quote. And this one was from Kira Sedgwick, who said, "Guilt, an emotion that keeps you out of the moment where you are." It's an emotion that keeps you out of the moment where you are. And I do not want that for you. I want so much more for you. And I hope that you do too. And so I want to let you know that on Thursday, I'm going to go deeper into this and how you know that you are meant for more. How do you know that? I'm going to walk you through that on Thursday. So until then,
I hope you enjoyed today's episode, Mama. If something spoke to you, would you take 30 seconds to share this with a mom who may need some encouragement in her day? It lights me up to know this hit home with you. So please leave a quick review of the show and check the notes if you want to reach out to me. I'll meet you right back here next week. Keep smiling, y'all.